Good evening, Belize. Tonight, crisis averted. A nationwide bus strike is called off as government signs off on tiered fares. A viral domestic violence case falls apart. The officer at the center walks free and social media erupts. Scammers, beware. Belize rolls out an instant online payment system. Still leaving, nurses continue to exit the public health system despite a new retention plan. And after chaos on the court, the NABL hands down suspensions and fines in the Orange Walk showdown. These stories and more, 60 seconds away. News 5 starts now.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Good evening, Belize, and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, April 21st. I am Sabrina Daly. After a week of rising tension and the very real threat of a bus strike, Cabinet has stepped in to keep Belizeans moving. Following urgent requests from the Belize Bus Association, the government has approved a new bus fare structure aimed at easing pressure on operators while protecting commuters from sudden spikes. Minister of Transport, Dr. Louis Zabanis, says the decision followed detailed discussions, with Cabinet weighing the cost of operating buses against the impact higher fares would have on the traveling public. Rather than a flat increase, the new system introduces tiered fares, a move the minister says is designed to be fairer and more predictable for both drivers and passengers. With bus operators backing away from strike action, attention now turns to how the new fares will work on the ground. Here's Minister of Transport Dr. Louis Zabanis explaining why Cabinet signed off on the change and what commuters can expect next.
Their main area of interest for the BBA was the adjustment of fares. And so our ministry represented options for Cabinet to consider, and these were ultimately determined that the rates would be in a tier format. So for regular bus service, the rate would be 18 cents per mile. For express bus service, it would be 20 cents per mile. And we would be creating a new premium service that would be 22 cents per mile. That premium service would require high-quality buses no older than 7 years, with spacious bucket seats, Wi-Fi. That would be non-stop between municipalities and designated high-density areas. So we have now shared verbally by phone with the president of the DBA what I just shared with you.
If you're wondering when those new bus fares will actually kick in, the answer is not just yet. The Minister of Transport says officials still need a few more days to fine-tune the numbers, round fares to the nearest 25 cents, and make sure every stop along the highways is properly included. So when can commuters expect the changes and which routes will be affected? Minister Louis Zabane breaks down the timeline and what riders should watch for next.
Yeah, we will need a couple days to fine-tune because we will be rounding some of these fares to the nearest 25 cents. Mm-hmm. And we will need to make sure we include all the various stops that our buses currently make. We have agreed with the president of the DBA that we will make sure we work closely with them and with the NBC to ensure that all those stops are incorporated properly.
Okay, so this will take effect for NBC, BBA, and municipal runs as well.
This would be for intercity runs, runs that are on the highway that are served by intercity operators. No? Okay. Now, as we know, there will be some large communities along the way that are also served, so those will be considered as well.
BBA President Philip Jones says the association has spent nearly 20 years pressing the government to create a level playing field for bus operators. A week after a quiet Toledo village was jolted into the national spotlight, the mystery surrounding first alcalde Marcos Canty is far from over. Though Canty returned home just 36 hours after his sudden disappearance from Indian Creek Village, the questions left behind have only grown louder. Police say the village leader reported being abducted, but with no official updates since and increasing calls for clarity and accountability, many are still asking what really happened during those missing hours. Tonight, News 5's Paul Lopez takes a closer look at the unanswered questions keeping this case alive.
1 week after first alcalde Marcos Canty vanished from his farm, questions still surround what happened in Indian Creek Village. Canty disappeared on Monday, April 13th, then reappeared less than 2 days later, safe, but with few answers. Police say Canty reported that 2 men abducted him from his farm, held him against his will and released him early Wednesday morning on the outskirts of the village. Beyond that account, uncertainty continues to cloud the brief but troubling disappearance.
Based on the information that you gathered from Canty and the injuries police observed, can you guys say that he was forcibly taken? He wasn't taken.
We are carrying out a thorough investigation, and so we will have all the facts when his statement is concluded today. So that is all I know at this time.
Police say Marcos Canty showed minor bruises and complained of pain when he returned home, but they have yet to issue any update on his reported abduction. While Canty was missing, the Toledo Alcalde Association and Maya Leaders Alliance searched for him in Indian Creek Village, calling for answers from authorities. Since his return, however, efforts to get clarity have stalled. News 5's repeated calls and messages to the organizations for an interview have gone unanswered, and a joint statement from the two organizations released on Friday offered no new details. It said only that the matter is serious and that authorities have been asked to carry out a full investigation. Police have confirmed that 5 people were detained for questioning.
We had several persons that were detained from Indian Creek. They were interviewed, questioned and released.
Among those persons detained, questioned and later released were Village Chairman Domingo Chuck, Second Alcalde Manuel Ack, and former Village Councillor Santiago Pop. All 3 men denied involvement.
Each one of us were questioned, and then we had proof. We showed them proof that all of us are innocent. So that's why we were released.
The officer asked me, "You know why you are here?" I tell her, "No, sir." Then the man take 1 minute, ask me again, "Did you know that the alcalde is missing?" Sir, I don't have no idea about that.
I need to clear myself that I have not done anything as a criminal. So I want to clear my name and the other's name as well.
Kante left the Toledo district soon after returning home to receive treatment at a private clinic in Baton. News 5's attempts to speak with him there proved futile. Uncertainty continues to surround Kante's disappearance and return as pressure mounts on authorities to confirm whether an audio recording of him pleading for help is credible.
Village police.
With investigations still ongoing and no clarity from the alleged victim himself, the mystery surrounding Marcus Kante's disappearance lingers. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A police officer caught in a viral domestic violence video walked out of court a free man on Monday morning after his common-law wife told a magistrate she wanted no further action. Police Constable Philip Garbut, 39, of the Traffic Support Unit, had been charged with wounding his common-law wife and harming her 8-year-old son. Both charges were dismissed shortly after 10 a.m. yesterday. The case fell apart when 38-year-old caregiver Deidre Jacobs took the stand and told the court, "I don't want no further court action." Prosecutors questioned her closely, asking if she had been threatened, pressured, or offered anything to withdraw the case. Jacobs answered no each time. With the virtual complainant unwilling to proceed, the prosecution offered no evidence, and the magistrate dismissed the charges. Garbut, who appeared without an attorney, was told he was free to go. The case drew public attention after video footage from inside the home surfaced online and went viral. The footage led to Garbut's arrest following a February 17th domestic dispute at a Watermelon Street residence. Police reports allege Garbut choked and punched Jacobs during an argument and later slapped her son when the child tried to intervene. Doctors later classified Jacobs' injuries as wounding and the child's as harm. Despite the viral footage and public backlash, the criminal case is now closed. Whether the incident leads to any internal police action remains unclear. After the break, they changed the rules. Your savings account just got more expensive.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says God is a spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. Have you ever wondered what color God is? James McBride, an African-American author and musician, wondered about this when he was a boy. Walking home from church one Sunday, he asked his Jewish mother if God was black or white. She replied, "God is not black, God is not white, God is a color of water." Water doesn't have a color. That was indeed a wise answer. God does not have a color because He does not have a body. God is spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in truth and in spirit. Becoming a Christian is not just getting out of hell into heaven. It is not like taking out some kind of heavenly insurance. It simply means getting God back into your life and making your life a temple for God to live in. The cross of Calvary became a correction for the curse placed upon man in the Garden of Eden. Receive Christ as your Savior today and invite Him into your life, and then you will know the joy of worshiping God in truth and in spirit. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Dr. Bob Roberts and Christian Foundations of Faith.
Let's get it on. race for first is tightening up and heating up in the NABL. And this Friday in Belmopan, the Belmopan Trojans try to stay alive versus the steaming hot Kyle Western Ballers. 8 p.m. at the UB Gymnasium. Then on Saturday night, the Dan Grieger Dream Ballers try to make a last push in the standings versus the dangerous San Pedro Tiger Sharks. 8 p.m. at the Russell Chiste Auditorium. And in Corazon, the Corazon Spartans, fresh off their first win, faces a test against the bad boys from the city, the Belize City Defenders. 8 p.m. at the Andres Campos Stadium. Giveaways, the NABL girls, plus the National Sports Council at Fui Bolido, $5,000 halftime shooting challenge. Come out and rally behind your team this NABL weekend. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
When the job calls, you need a truck that works as hard as you do. Strong, reliable, and built for the load. The Jack Freight Truck gets the job done. From the lumberyard to the worksite, power your business with confidence. I can count on Jack to get the job done right.
My name is Dr. Rosita Jimenez, and I'm a general laparoscopic surgeon. We have just finished an emergency appendectomy, and we're now moving on to our second operating theater for our laparoscopic gallbladder screening. Basically, this is very easy to diagnose. Simple abdominal ultrasound or a pan-abdominal ultrasound can give us the diagnosis. Laparoscopic gallbladder removal surgeries, 90 to 80% of the time, are done due to gallstones. However, there are other conditions like tumors, malfunctioning of the gallbladder, that also are reasons to get a laparoscopic surgery. We also have an amazing CT scan and X-ray unit who work hand in hand with our doctors. Instruments used in laparoscopic surgery are chokers like these. It makes it easy for us to do the surgery through these entry ports. The recovery process is excellent. Basically, within a week, you are back up, ready to do your job, your daily life activity, like if you hadn't had this surgery.
We've been sounding the alarm for months now. Scammers flashing fake screenshots of bank transfers. Business owners handing over goods and later realizing no money ever hit their accounts. Those scams thrive on one thing: delays in the banking system. But help may be finally on the way. The Central Bank of Belize says it's rolling out a new instant payment system aimed at speeding up transactions and shutting the door on digital payment fraud. News 5's Shane Williams breaks down what this could mean for consumers and businesses alike.
That familiar ping payment sent used to mean business as usual. Now, for many Belizean shop owners, it's a warning sign. Too often, that message comes with a polished screenshot of a bank transfer, just convincing enough to hand over goods. Hours later, the truth hits: the money never landed. Scammers have been thriving in the gap between sent and received, but that gap may be closing fast. The Central Bank of Belize is rolling out a new instant payment system that promises to move money in real time. No waiting, no guessing, and no overnight delays. The aim is faster transactions, fewer excuses, and far less room for fraud, with payments available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If it works as promised, the days of trusting screenshots over actual deposits could soon be over.
Digital payments operate largely within banking hours with same-day processing dependent on settlement windows. Many in the public don't realize this, but there are different windows, 9 to 10:30, and then after that 11 to 12, where you process your EFT and your IFT, and then checks comes afterwards. If you try putting a payment at 3 o'clock, that won't be processed until the next day to finality. Not ideal. So what IPS will deliver is payments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, allowing money to move when the economy moves, not just when the banks are open.
The system is expected to process transactions in seconds, giving both customers and businesses immediate confirmation.
What our target is that these transactions will be processed and settled typically in 10 seconds or less. It is like sending a WhatsApp message.
Beyond speed, the platform will also connect banks, credit unions, and digital wallets, creating a single interoperable payment network.
IPS, the fast payment system, will connect banks, credit unions, and digital wallets into one shared payment system, allowing money to move easily and instantly between individuals, businesses, regardless of the provider.
To deliver the system, the central bank has partnered with Montran Financial Services, an international firm with decades of experience implementing payment systems around the world. Its director says Belize is getting a modern, secure, and flexible solution.
We are currently serving, I would say, almost 100 countries now at the central bank level in terms of RTGSs or ACH or instant payments. So there really isn't too much we haven't seen these days when it comes to requirements or ecosystems in terms of interoperability and things like that.
The platform is built to global standards and can adapt to Belize's specific needs.
The solutions and the products that are currently running here at the central bank, but also the commonalities of the instant payments that will be rolled out. All of our solutions are customizable, very flexible in terms of scaling them and implementing the exact requirements. They are all, of course, modern and built on the latest standards and technology. All of our solutions, of course, are multi-currency, multi-institutional, and multilingual. So that can be accommodated, and we have references all over the world.
For everyday users, the changes are small but powerful. Think QR code payments and instant confirmations that cut out guesswork and shut down fraud. The central bank says the instant payment system will close the loopholes scammers exploit and bring Belize in step with global banking standards. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
It's a common frustration for many Belizeans, being told there's a minimum purchase to use your card, or worse, being charged extra just to pay with debit or credit. While some businesses argue it offsets transaction fees, the central bank says those practices are not only unfair, but they go against the bank's mission and undermine efforts to make financial services more accessible. Governor Kareem Michaels says the issue has persisted for years, and now the regulator is working with financial institutions to put an end to what he calls an abuse of consumers.
This is something that we've been battling with for a few years. I have had personal experience where I have went to a grocer and I have purchased maybe $9 and there's a $15 minimum, and they refuse for me to pay with my debit card. And they would only accept cash. Recently, I went to the same store, same under $15 purchase, and now they're slapping on a $1 charge to make me use my debit card. The Bankers Association and the Central Bank have been brainstorming, if you will, on how to address this issue. And we've had very good discussions on what solutions may look like, from the very blunt to something more equitable on both sides. What we hope is to find a solution for this in the very future. It is not necessarily that we want an entirely cashless society. But for the reasons which you've cited, there cannot be price disincentives for the vulnerable members of society. And this is not only about vulnerable members of society, but this is for everyone, to not participate in the formal financial sector. So this is one of a few issues that we want to address together with the Bankers Association and also even the credit unions, to see how we can stop this abuse from happening, because it is really and truly against our financial inclusion motives.
If your savings account suddenly started behaving like a checking account, you're not imagining things. Belize Bank and Atlantic Bank have quietly changed the rules on basic savings accounts, and customers are feeling it. Over the past month, the banks reclassified savings accounts as full access and essential, turning them into something that looks a lot like checking. ATM withdrawals are easier and limits are looser, but the trade-off is steep. Account holders no longer earn interest, and new maintenance and transaction fees now apply. For Belizeans living paycheck to paycheck, those charges add up fast. The banks say the shift reflects how people actually use their accounts. Customers, however, are asking whether full access simply means higher fees. When the issue was raised with Central Bank Governor Kareem Michael, he made it clear the regulator had no hand in the decision. The changes, he said, came solely from commercial banks.
First thing I have to correct is that the Central Bank was not involved in that decision. There was no approval sought for Atlantic Bank or any other bank to have done that. What I will say is that there are current powers under the Central Bank that only go as far as putting caps and floors on lending rates and also floors on savings deposits. Savings deposits have been specifically defined. That the latest round of revision was when we engaged the commercial banks roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, when we wanted or intended to address fee-based income at the commercial banks. And it took a while for us to get at a middle position, a compromise position, which both parties were reasonably satisfied with. But as you rightly pointed out, there have been there have been more concerns by the public that there are more fees being applied, particularly when prices are going up. You're not making income on your savings, but the cost of living is certainly going up. I will also tell you that, and correct me if I'm wrong, the other banks in the room, this is not a unique move by that bank that you mentioned.
Both Atlantic and Belize Bank.
Oh, wonderful. Good. So, so that should tell you something about the structure of our market. Those two are the biggest banks.
For now, customers are left adjusting to a new banking reality, less earning on their money and more fees to watch. Still ahead, a transfer freeze wins cautious applause from the Public Service Union, yet they warn it doesn't go far enough. But first, here's tonight's weather forecast from the National Met Service.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Tourism in the Caribbean is evolving, and the way we grow it matters more than ever.
The Sustainable Tourism Conference 2026 is the Caribbean's premier space for forward-thinking tourism leaders. The conference will be held in San Pedro and Burgess Key from the 27th to the 30th of April, and the conference is hosted by the Belize Tourism Board and the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
If you are part of the tourism industry, whether in hospitality, a tour operator, or managing a destination, this is for you.
This year's theme, Tourism in Full Color, explores how we grow tourism sustainably and inclusively across the blue, green, orange, and purple economies.
You'll gain practical experience, connect with regional and international leaders, and you will drive the future of tourism in Belize and the wider Caribbean.
And getting involved is simple. Registration is quick and easy with multiple payment options to suit your needs.
So, if you've been thinking about attending,
now is the time.
Join us.
See you in Belize at STC 2026.
Insurance fact. Did you know Home Protector Insurance provides liability insurance that is for licensing? Public liability insurance for the hotels and guest houses protects the guests staying at the resort. Tour operators insurance for on-site tourists and marine passenger liability for passengers. You take care of your guests, we'll take care of you. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Belize, your voice is shaping our future. The Ministry of E-Governance is hosting National ID Project public consultations, and we're coming to you. Orange Walk, you're up first. Thursday, April 23rd at Central Park, 6 p.m. Come, learn, share, and help build a better ID system for all Belizeans. Then Belize City, it's your turn. Join us Friday, April 24th at the Biltmore Plaza at 2 p.m. Show up, speak up, because your voice matters in creating a smarter, more connected Belize.
Look here, your kitchen light there and never been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think more to eat.
You know the more you open and close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
The Public Service Union is backing a new government directive that freezes transfers and extends tours of duty for public officers, but not without reservations. The union says the move is long overdue, arguing that transfers have too often been used as punishment, draining public funds and disrupting the lives of officers and their families. While the circular offers short-term relief, the PSU insists it doesn't fix the deeper problems within the system. We spoke to PSU President Dean Flowers about why the union supports the directive and why he says real reform is still needed.
The Public Service Union is in full support of the government's decision not to effect transfers this year, and I believe that, of course, there might be a couple exigencies that may need to be visited, but however, those will have to be justified. Since 2021, coming out of COVID, we would have complained vehemently to the government that the transfers as were being executed, especially coming out of an election year, were primarily being done as a punitive action rather than one that was driven by efficiency and in the best interest of public officers. We were very concerned about the separation of families during that time. We vehemently complained again in 2022 because we got numerous complaints which clearly depicted vindictiveness. We were able to demonstrate to them that the people of Belize were paying in excess of $10 million per year, Paul, in housing allowance alone. $10 million. This does not include the transfer grants, which is $1,200 per public officer. So if you basically transfer 2,000 public officers, you can do the math. This is that is roughly another $200,000. Then you have to factor in those officers who goes to San Pedro, those officers who go to Kikaka, those officers who goes to perhaps Placencia, Punta Gorda. These are hardship areas. That's another $350. And so when you look at all these allowances and you quantify them on an annual basis, we are paying close to $15 or $20 million a year.
The union says that it expects all eligible public officers will continue to receive all allowances where applicable for the duration of the extended tour of duty without interruption. The union further called on the Ministry of Public Service to closely monitor the implementation. It's not every day that the Public Service Union finds itself on the same side as the Briceño administration, and that has caught some attention. PSU President Dean Flowers has thrown his support behind the government's latest decision on transfers, prompting critics to question whether his annual opposition to policy changes is more habit than principle. Is he simply against change for the sake of opposing it? Flowers isn't buying it. He calls that claim hogwash, and he's pushing back. We hear from the union leader as he responds to the criticism and explains where he really stands.
Any right-thinking Belizean and any Belizean that is able to listen and comprehend and interpret knows that that is hogwash, that is not true. I think that from day one when we stepped forward and we said to the Belizean people that we are raising alarms where SARA is concerned, it has always been one based on transparency, and it has always been one that has been requesting justification. We've never stepped forward to oppose for oppose's sake. We've said to the Prime Minister and the Director General and the Financial Secretary, show us how we got here. Show us what analysis was done that justifies that you're unable to accomplish what you intend to accomplish in SARA that you cannot accomplish under the current Belize Tax Services Department. Where your people is concerned, I am saying to you that the individuals who were part and parcel of that grant from Taiwan to set up CETA, who have made CETA ISO certified, are saying to us that they have the infrastructure, the capacity, and the capability to manage government's data, including their human resource data. We do not have to go and pay $3 million a year of taxpayers' dollars for that to be done by a third party.
Belize may be trying to hold on to its nurses, but the world is pulling harder. Even with a new government retention package on the table, nurses are still leaving Belize for better pay and benefits abroad. At the same time, regional and international recruits say Belize simply isn't competitive anymore. The pressure is mounting. If Cuban nurses exit the system, frontline workers warn the strain could quickly turn into crisis. Nurse Andrew Baird says Belize is losing ground in the global race for healthcare workers. And without fast, meaningful change, hospitals and clinics across the country will feel it.
When the nurses was leaving just after COVID, and they have tried the Philippines, they have tried Nicaragua, they have tried the Caribbean, so regionally. And the simple fact is that these nurses in the region and from the Philippines have been receiving better offers than what we have. As a matter of fact, what I can tell you, when we tried to get back the Filipino nurses in Belize, they were saying, they were demanding, apart from salary, that the government of Belize, coalition pays their house rent and all that, which would have come up to quite a hefty package. And then you would have another issue, because when the Belizean nurses find that out, you know, so it posed some difficulties. When you talk about Nicaragua, what I know is that the salary in Nicaragua today, what it is today and 10 years ago, is basically more than what Belize is offering, or comparable to what we are offering. So those nurses in Nicaragua does not see the need to come to Belize like before. We may be in even a deeper trouble if it is that the government and the U.S. come up with a decision that the Cuban nurses has to leave to go back to Cuba. If you think we are sharp now, we'll be much even sharper and could pose some serious risk to the health system.
Fierce global demand for nurses has pushed the government to sweeten its retention package to keep nurses in Belize's public health system. Officials are now spelling out the added benefits. Chief Nursing Officer Lizette Bell says the plan isn't a single incentive, but a phased package of financial perks to reward nurses and make staying home more attractive. It includes a 10% specialist allowance, higher uniform support, and new monthly payments such as hazard pay, night allowances, and stipends for nurses on call. Nurses who remain in the public system are also receiving house lots and education scholarships.
In addition to this retention package, however, we have other strategies in our retention system or retention mechanism that we have put in place. We are now offering education opportunities to our nurses to specialize. So training opportunities at the master's degree level at no cost to the nurse. So we provide the tuition and fees for them. And they are bonded to the government for the period since they receive the scholarship. We also, through the Ministry of Natural Resources and in collaboration with the Nurses Association, and I must applaud the Nurses Association for this particular initiative, the one where they now are processing land title for nurses. So all of these things are part of the whole retention mechanism and strategy that the government of Belize is putting in place for our nurses.
Though CEO Shireen Reyes says the KHMH nurses have been approved to benefit from the retention package, both Chief Nursing Officer Lizette Bell and former union President Andrew Baird says that is something to be confirmed in the hospital's collective bargaining agreement. Coming up, Citco's decision hits closer to home than expected. One vendor says the fallout runs straight from the market stall to the farm.
Town called Freedom and Mars Production present an event you can't afford to miss.
It's the Belize Music World Festival, Saturday, April 25th, 2026.
At the spacious Marion Jones Stadium. This annual event is geared to give you the very best in music, food, and artistry.
The Belize Music World Festival.
Headlines with two of Reggae World's very best performers. The one and only Mr. Siggy himself.
Taurus Ride.
With the very first time in Belize, Reggae Prince of Reggae Royal Family,
Skip Marley.
I just wanna be close to you. With his band. And also featuring on this momentous event is Pen Cayetano with his band. And Jay Cash with his band. Yes, Belize, it's a full-on band show. Also backing up this show is DJ Jago, DJ Console, DJ Cad, DJ Smurf, and Clark, and Rasen Charo. Firestarter Sound. It's all hosted by DJ Dollar. So mark the date and don't be late. April 25th. Gates open at 7 for showtime at 8 at the Marion Jones Stadium. Ticket prices are bleachers $41. General admission $61. VIP $151. For Ultra Boost $2,500. Also available. Cocktail tables for VIP area only. Sponsors are A Town Called Freedom, Mars Production, Monisco, Pelican, Travelers Liquor, BTV, Niche, Channel 5, Channel 7, Love FM, and Love TV, Trim Radio and TV, and Cellular World.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
Tourism in the Caribbean is evolving, and the way we grow it matters more than ever.
The Sustainable Tourism Conference 2026 is the Caribbean's premier space for forward-thinking tourism leaders. The conference will be held in San Pedro and Burgess Key from the 27th to the 30th of April, and the conference is hosted by the Belize Tourism Board and the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
If you are part of the tourism industry, whether in hospitality, a tour operator, or managing a destination, this is for you.
This year's theme, Tourism in Full Color, explores how we grow tourism sustainably and inclusively across the blue, green, orange, and purple economies.
You'll gain practical experience, connect with regional and international leaders, and you will drive the future of tourism in Belize and the wider Caribbean.
And getting involved is simple. Registration is quick and easy with multiple payment options to suit your needs.
So, if you've been thinking about attending,
now is the time.
Join us.
See you in Belize at STC 2026.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
The Social Security Board is responding to reports of carbon dioxide exposure at the David L. McCoy building in Belmopan, marking the latest challenge for a structure that has struggled with persistent infrastructural problems since opening in 2021. In a statement to News 5, the SSB said it moved quickly once it became aware of the issue. The board immediately began identifying the source of the problem, researching possible solutions, and launching a tendering process to permanently fix the situation. News 5 has reliably learned that United Nations organization occupying the second floor were forced to vacate the building for several weeks. The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, which occupied the fourth floor, also temporarily relocated. Meanwhile, the 2 call centers operating on the first and third floors continued to occupy the building. Health experts warn that long-term exposure to carbon dioxide in poorly ventilated indoor spaces can cause serious health problems. According to the SSB, its investigations found that inadequate ventilation contributed to poor indoor air quality within the building. In response, the board installed energy recovery ventilator systems on the second and third floors, along with an air quality monitoring system. Workers are now installing similar systems on the remaining 2 floors. The board explains that the ERV units improve ventilation by replacing stale indoor air with fresh outdoor air while maintaining energy efficiency. The SSB says it continues to closely monitor the system's implementation. For years, buying fresh produce at the Michael Finnegan Market came with certainty. Customers knew exactly which stall carried vegetables straight from Little Belize. That certainty is now gone. A sudden decision by the Belize City Council has forced a longtime vendor to scale back and move, disrupting a business built over more than a decade. The fallout has been immediate. Fewer customers, lower sales, and growing worry about what comes next. Herman Friesen says the impact goes far beyond his stall, because when one market vendor stumbles, entire farming families back home feel the strain.
We were selling there for years, and I know on Tuesdays they will not allow that we can sell much retail. They want to sell us wholesale. And then on Saturdays we used to come and sell retail to the people. But now they cut it. They say we cannot sell any more retail to the people at the market, or the people would come and buy at the market. So now I just want to say that we found a new place at Pound Yard Market, and we will not be anymore in front of the other market. We was there by the second gate. If we relocated then and that next market, we can sell retail. We can sell wholesale and retail because that's a private property or private market. That's not government market. There we can sell retail and we can give good prices as well. And the next market, we try to be fair to the market people. We sell them a good price, wholesale, and then if we sell retail, we do the same price than they do. But they still don't want us to sell retail anymore over there. I was Friday asking if we at least have one more chance to let our customers know, and they didn't give us a chance. So we had, last Saturday we moved already.
The Belize City Council is pushing back. Responding to complaints from wholesaler Herman Friesen, they say no official orders have been issued. Market manager Delroy Herrera explains the issue is complicated. Retailers are selling on wholesale days, forcing wholesalers to drop prices. At the same time, wholesalers are selling on retail days and undercutting retailers. Herrera says the council is still discussing the problem and has made no final decisions. As for Friesen's claim, Herrera insists the council never told him to relocate.
What happened is that the Belize City Council under Chapter 85 of the Belize City Council law, it states that the council regulates or signify what days are market days and so forth. We have Tuesdays and Fridays that are set and established for wholesale, and then Saturdays for open market retail day. Mr. Friesen, based on the meeting that we conducted on the 15th, what happened is that vendors, yes, did indeed mention that these people are, the Mennonites are coming and they're selling and so forth. What was discussed with the councillor at the time was that this will have a domino effect because wholesalers are out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and for some reason I don't know exactly what administration gave the permission for retailers to come on Tuesdays and Fridays and sell. And so wholesalers are there selling in bulk and so forth at retail price. And what happened is that the retailers started selling on their day and started demanding that they sell a specific at a specific price cap. Now with Mr. Friesen, after that meeting happened, I guess that talking from the vendors inside and whatever the case may be, but Mr. Friesen is a wholesale vendor. And Mr. Friesen wants to sell Tuesday, he skips Friday, go to deliver and so forth based on his business, and then want to make up on a Saturday to come out and sell, which is out of his scope by law because he's a wholesaler. So he needs to capitalize on Tuesdays and Fridays, and the regular small vendors who are buying to make a profit on that day, they are the one who is designated to come out on Saturdays. And Mr. Friesen is adamant that he wants to come on Saturday because he skipped Friday, so he wants to make up on Saturday. And the mayor and the councillor, they have vowed that we need to protect wholesalers so that they can make their money, and also the retailers, the small business people come from Bomba and so forth, retail clothes and stuff on that day. So that's the thing, but it was a gossip, not a council issue ticket or whatever the case may be, letter or anything like that. It was a back and forth between the vendors inside and the vendors outside, telling the Mennonite community that they won't be able to come out there and stuff like that.
Councillor Evan Thompson says the Belize City Council is not blocking anyone from selling at the Michael Finnegan Market. He told News 5 that no such instructions have been issued and anyone claiming otherwise is being dishonest. Money and muscle are now on the table inside CARICOM. Trinidad and Tobago is openly warning it may pull funding unless leaders reopen the decision to reappoint Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett, cracking the facade of regional unity. Belize is standing firmly in Barnett's corner, with both the Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister backing her leadership. Trinidad, however, argues CARICOM has stalled under her watch and insists it never had a seat at the table when the second term was approved. And as the disagreement spills into public view, former Assistant Secretary General Ambassador Byron Blake is sounding the alarm, warning that this kind of open rift is unprecedented and could weaken the entire regional bloc.
One, I don't think the fundamental disagreement is over the Secretary General. I think that is pretty much a smokescreen. But a public disagreement like this risks really the effectiveness, threatening effectiveness of the organization. A public disagreement with the Secretary General is almost suicidal, because it means that the Secretary General, who has to move among countries and among heads of government, will not get cooperation in terms of the programs and the activities. And that then would really be very destructive for the movement. The fact is that the nature of the dispute and the public nature of the dispute raises questions as to how the organization functions. As I said earlier, the organization tends to resolve these matters in caucus or in quiet communication or in diplomacy. The going at it and putting it in the press and therefore having it as a public situation is unusual, very unusual. It has never happened in respect of an appointment.
Blake adds that resolving the issue quickly will be important to avoid further damage to the regional body. Up next, the King's Baton touches down in Belize, bringing the countdown to Glasgow 2026 right to our doorstep.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. Belize Electricity Limited. We continue to serve you.
Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Open Your Eyes. The British High Commission celebrates its High Commissioner for a Day winner while highlighting the next generation of leaders. In the South, Toledo private and lease landowners are speaking out on key land issues affecting their communities. Next, the excitement builds as the King's Baton Relay arrives, uniting Belize through sport and pride. And bringing care where it's mostly needed, Monarchy Consulting Group invites Belizeans to their on-site medical and dental outreach. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes and start your morning right.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Just days after tempers flared and play came to a halt in Orange Walk, the National Elite Basketball League is sending a clear message. League officials have handed down suspensions and fines following last week's chaotic showdown between the Belize City Defenders and the Orange Walk Running Rebels. The NABL is calling the April 17th incident a serious breach of professionalism. And tonight, we're learning exactly who's being disciplined and why. Here's News 5's Isanika Atano with that report.
What was supposed to be an exciting night of basketball at the Orange Walk Sporting Complex instead unraveled into an on-court confrontation that left fans, sponsors and officials disappointed. In an immediate response, the league launched a review and promised accountability. That promise is now taking shape. Several players from both teams have been handed suspensions ranging from 1 game to the remainder of the 2026 season, along with fines totaling more than $5,000. The penalties target actions including striking, kicking and pushing opponents, as well as leaving the bench area during the altercation, an automatic violation of league rules. Additional fines were imposed on players who refused to leave the court or remain inside the arena after being disqualified. NABL officials say the sanctions reflect the league's commitment to its basketball at its best mantra and to restoring confidence among fans who expect safe, family-friendly entertainment. All fines collected will be donated to a charitable organization to be selected by the league office. Commissioner Leroy Banner previously acknowledged the incident fell short of league standards and apologized to supporters, stressing that the behavior on display does not represent the values of the NABL. The league insists these measures are about more than punishment. They're about sending a clear message as the regular season heads towards its climax. With playoffs around the corner, the NABL hopes the decisive action will shift the spotlight back where it belongs, on competitive basketball, mutual respect, and a strong finish to the season.
The King's Baton Relay arrived in Belize on Monday with the unveiling of Belize's specially painted baton. For the first time, all 74 Commonwealth nations and territories have received their own customizable baton for the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games. As part of today's activities, a relay run made its way to the Baron Bliss Lighthouse with participation from students of St. Catherine Academy. The event also included an ocean cleanup campaign along the seawall, led by the school's Oceana Wavemakers Club. Belize Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association board member Leticia Wesby explained the significance of the day's events and shared details behind the design of Belize's King's Baton.
We're going to be doing a relay with the high school, including a Clean Ocean campaign cleanup, where we'll be having the students clean from the lighthouse to St. Catherine's area. The idea is basically to pick up all the plastics to try to ensure that the ocean remains for us in the future. The baton was a blank baton that was given to each country this year, and we were asked to design, make a design of the baton, including our culture, heritage, sports, and sustainability. So we had commissioned Mr. Kieran Griffith to do this for us, design and paint the baton. So if you look at the baton, we're starting out with the flag that represents the country. We go to the Blue Hole, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that we have here. Also taking to the idea of the concept of the Clean Ocean campaign, if we keep the ocean or our waters clean, this can remain for years to come. And of course, we have the Mayan temple, or Mayan ruins, the Mayan ruins, which is something for us unique. We're one of the only Commonwealth country that has the ancient Mayan, the heritage and the culture of the Mayan, because as part of the Baton, we are featuring the Poctopok in that on our Baton. The Mayans have been in Belize, or have been in this side of the world from before Christ, and they still remain, and we are still playing the game of Poctopok. Belize is, I think, or was the world champion a couple years back.
As part of the week's activities, organizers will also host a Poctopok game at the Hardin Pachamama Field on Friday. Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, strike averted. Government green lights, tiered bus fares. Kenton Cacho commented, "Seriously? Bus prices keep going up and we still have to ride the all-tired bus. Seats dirty and tear up. Windows with sun to tear." And I can go on. Turning to vendors, says Citco's decision ripples from market stall to farm fields. Marta Swift-Garbett shared. The vendors inside the market have to pay their rents and trade license at much higher rates than vendors outside the market. The vendors outside the market undersell their products, making it harder for the vendors inside to make their sales on those market days. This has been an ongoing issue since I was managing that market in 2012, when we were trying to enforce the market policies for equal rights and business opportunities. And finally, on NABL issue suspensions, fines after chaotic Orange Walk games. Elvis Crawford shared, "Lessons learned: if your teammate gets involved in a fight with an opposing player, do not join the fight. Try to stop the fight." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.